That same year, 1954, Bill Holden appeared in another massive hit, The Country Girl. His co-star was Grace Kelly, who received an Academy Award for her performance.
If I tell him he's magnificent, he says I'm not being honest. If I tell him he's not magnificent, he says I don't love him.
Why don't you tell him he's good, but can be better?
Is that what the critics will tell him?
Are you a critic or a wife?
Let's say I try in my small way to help.
That's what my ex-wife used to keep reminding me of, tearfully. She had a theory that behind every great man, there was a great woman. She also was thoroughly convinced that she was great, and that all I needed to qualify was guidance on her part.
There are certain films which affected him a great deal. Films where there was actually something of value to be obtained, had something to do with reality, but mostly dealing with other actors who had tremendous talent and had tremendous energy. He felt that it improved his performance.
You can't believe that a woman is crazy out of her mind to live alone in one room by herself.
Listen to me, listen to me.
Why are you holding me? I said you're holding me.
Bill Holden's growing public was now ready for a change of pace. It came the same year with Billy Wilder's Sabrina. Co-starring with Bill was Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, Sabrina, Sabrina, where have you been all my life?
Right over the garage.
Right over my car. Right up in that tree. What a fool I was.
What a crush I had on you.
I'm convinced, thumblegs, that there are some people born with a gene that has magic for them as far as the screen's concerned. They click. They just make contact with that screen. And Bill had the gene in spades.
What's the matter, darling? You're not worried about us, are you? Because I'm not. So there'll be a big stink in the family, so who cares?
David, I don't think I'm going to have dinner with Linus. I don't want to go out with him.
Why not?
I want to be near you.
Oh, I know how you feel, Sabrina. It must be an awful bore. But if Linus wants to take you out, let's be nice about it. It's very important. He's our only ally. Don't you see, Father will try to cut off my allowance and send me off to Larrabee Copper in Butte, Montana. And we don't want to go to Butte, Montana, do we?
Hold me close, David.
They finished what they had to do with Holden on Sabrina. They finished at 6 o'clock in the evening, and at 7 o'clock, Bill was on an airplane on his way to Japan.
He said, it's a crazy business, but he said, what other business would a fellow like Bill Holden find a aircraft carrier waiting for him to come in a helicopter off of Korea while they were doing bridges of Tokarev?
The world had long ago discovered Bill Holden. Now Bill was discovering the world. And wherever he went, he took his cameras.
He was a self-educated man. I think a lot of people at that time were. And it was very important for him to satisfy his curiosity about things. And traveling opened up an entire new dimension for him.
In 1955, at their California home, Bill and artists were interviewed for television's Person to Person.
I find that I'm terribly curious about the world and about the people in it. And I've had a wonderful opportunity to satisfy that curiosity by traveling both for the production of motion pictures and then, after they're finished, selling them.
Bill's father and mother always stay with the children when we take a trip like this. There was a long time, you know, when I just was content to stay home and take care of the children, but they're getting older now, and I think I have well, I want to travel with Bill, spend a little more time with him, you know.
I'm not too anxious to do what would be live dramatic shows. I've always felt that they were restricted. I've seen many shows where they would have two ferns hanging into the scenery on some stage, and that's supposed to be a jungle. I feel that through the medium of motion pictures, you can actually go to the jungle.
He traveled so much. He was always on location, whether it was within the United States or it was in Europe or in the Orient. And consequently, everything, it was always, he's coming home. He's going to be back home, and when he did come home, there was always gifts, and there was magic in the air.
By the middle 50s, William Holden had become one of Hollywood's most valued stars.
William Holden receives from Myron N. Black, president of the Theater Owners of America, the Star of the Year award at the organization's annual banquet. The award, made only twice previously, is given for outstanding service to the motion picture industry, the community, and the country at large. Responding, Mr. Holden predicts ever better entertainment and an adult public responding at the box office.
In the 1956 Picnic, location shooting took place in Lawrence, Kansas. Later, Bill Holden would take pride in this film. Making it, however, was not an easy experience.
I wanted to be older, and Bill wanted to be younger, because he felt so awkward and self-conscious about playing the part. He would say, I feel like such an idiot trying to be young again. In this movie, remember, it was still in the time of heavy censorship, so I'll never forget that Bill Holden and Cliff Robertson had to shave their chests in the scene in the men's bathroom, and Bill kept saying, what am I doing for a living? What a ridiculous way to make a living. He hated doing the dance sequence in Picnic. Well, everybody hated. I hated doing the dance sequence in Picnic. Bill was sure he couldn't dance. Kim Novak thought she couldn't dance.
And the result was history. It's probably one of the most provocative, sexy dance scenes with two people fully clothed that you'll ever see. He was very modest about his talent. I thought he was a wonderful actor, and I don't think he ever realized how good he really was.
Listen, baby. You're the only real thing I ever wanted. Ever. You're mine. I've got to claim what's mine, or I'll be nothing as long as I live. You love me. You know it. You love me. You love me.
I remember it was a blue town, Kansas, in the 50s, with hurricanes and tornadoes arriving every 3 minutes, so it was a kind of high-stress situation.
This particular evening, we were all up in Bill's room. He had my record player. He borrowed it and had it there and was playing some music, and virtually everybody was there. We were all having a kind of a little party.
Since he had the suite next door and there were a lot of goings on, I had glasses, literally. You know those old jokes about how, yes, I listened through the wall? I actually did that when I was 16.
This publicity man said something to Bill, I don't know what, and it irked Bill.
I actually ran next door because there was a lot of screaming coming from Bill's suite, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought something was wrong.
He jumped up and climbed out on the ledge of the window.
He was hanging out of whatever this was, the 10th story window of this hotel, with one hand.
He wasn't going to kill himself. He had no death wish or anything like that, but I guess he was just trying to let this fellow who was taunting him a little bit, let him know that he didn't know every move Bill Holden was going to make every minute.
I was told about all the daredevil adventuring he was doing, the risk-taking, standing on a ledge and that was 14 stories high, and, that kind of thing. It didn't surprise me, but it did occur to me that what Bill was seeking was to feel something. He was searching for whatever was promised him, and he didn't even know what that was. So where was the feeling? Where was the excitement? Where was the rush? The wonderful, wonderful feeling of life? It was as if, my gosh, it's eluding me.
It was 1957, and Bill Holden was at last a free agent. But Columbia's Harry Cohn managed to get him back to star in The Bridge on the River Kwai by offering a deal unequaled in Hollywood. An added attraction was the location. A country new to Bill, Ceylon.
Bridge on the River Kwai, if you go back and look at that performance again, it is absolutely flawless, which is something you can rarely say about an actor's performance. It is absolutely flawless. You never catch him acting, and every word he says sounds like the spoken truth.
You're going to leave me here.
You stop, we stop.
Well, go on without me. That's an order. You're in command now, Shears.
I won't obey that order. You make me sick with your heroics. There's a stench of death about you. You carry it in your pack like the plague. Explosives and L-pills, they go well together, don't they? And with you, it's just one thing or the other. Destroy a bridge or destroy yourself. This is just a game, this war. You and that Colonel Nicholson, you're two of a kind. Crazy with courage. For what? How to die like a gentleman. How to die by the rules. When the only important thing is how to live like a human being.
We usually found that when he was particularly happy with a scene or a story, it's usually because he could really relate to it. He could draw something out of his own experience and apply it to his character and probably pull it off with a lot more sincerity.
By 1960, when The World of Susie Wong was released, Bill Holden's collection of color slides had grown, and his fascination with new people and new places was stronger than ever.
If you want, I stay. I'll be your permanent girlfriend. Never go out with other boyfriends. Take good care of you.
Susie, you're very attractive, and I'm only human, but unfortunately, there's no provision for anyone like you in my budget.
With you, it's different. I feel something in heart. It's like pretending I'm a rich girl.
He became the quintessential American hero, humanized, brought down to some level where, let's say, unlike John Wayne, who was bigger than life, Bill wasn't. He was someone who I think we felt could have been in our home, our father, our lover, our involved with us, so that he took this kind of heroic quality and made it accessible.
Now, I keep asking myself, what would I have done if I had been she? Frightened child, hungry, alone? Would I steal to survive? Would I... Just how far would I go in order to keep on living?
When he'd come back to Hollywood after spending 6 or 7 months in these countries, and he would go to the parties and see the people, the directors, and the people that never really left here, who were the businessmen, and he was a little disappointed by the fact that no matter what the fact was on the other side in the countries he was dealing with, that Hollywood would still slap out an image of it just as they saw fit and wouldn't necessarily deal with reality. And that upset him to some degree. And I think he was very honest about that. That didn't necessarily make him very popular at times.
Hollywood was not Bill Holden's kind of town. Probably anywhere, everywhere USA was Bill Holden's kind of town, but not Hollywood. He didn't like the glitz. He didn't like the veneer. He liked to cut right through. When you talked to Bill, you talked to a guy who was looking straight in the eye. Didn't have a pair of dark glasses that you couldn't see his orbs. You knew who he was and how he felt about what he was talking about.
In 1959, Hollywood was taken by surprise when William Holden, the small-town boy from Pasadena, picked up his family and moved to Europe.
I think there were a number of considerations. First of all, when you get a taste of the world and you see that there's something else to the world than the United States, Hollywood, the American flag, and all these things, I think that you begin to realize that there are other lifestyles to be appreciated and lived elsewhere.
Although Bill had decided to live abroad, at heart he remained very much the American.
And I said, how do you like Switzerland, Bill? He said, well, it's kind of a problem. I said, why? He said, well, my kids are over here, and he said, one is now speaking 2 languages. She's bilingual. He said, the other one, I think, is going to eventually speak 3 languages. He'll be trilingual. I said, what's the problem? He said, I'm not even lingual.
After Bill Holden had settled in Europe, he underwent one of the most profound experiences of his life. It occurred during a hunting trip to Kenya.
When I saw my first elephant, there was no way that I could accomplish that particular hunt for a trophy. I just couldn't do it. And it didn't take me long after I was here to realize that the handwriting was on the wall as far as wildlife in Africa was concerned.
He brought the whole family down there, my sister, my brother, myself, and my mother. And we went down there, and all of a sudden, the wild smells, the dirt roads leading off into nowhere, the finding of Mount Kenya, this white-capped mountain. And to us, in those early years, it was just an experience beyond belief.
I think he realized that there was a great deal more in life than just making movies. And he found it. He went out and looked for it. He went out and looked for things that made it interesting for him, that he enjoyed, that he wanted to share with other people. And it also put a lot of life into him. It gave him another life. And I think that he needed that.
He seemed to have so many different people in him. And probably a lot of these extremist things, such as being an idealist and being a romantic and being a perfectionist and being a truth seeker, probably created a lot of conflict in him at times.
Oh, yeah, I think Bill had a very profound sense of what a good father and a good husband should be. And I don't think he felt that he was the best father or possibly the best husband. And I think he suffered from that.
Regardless of the other relationships that my father had with other women in his life, when he would come home and when my mother and my father would be together, there was still a little arguing, but there was a lot of respect involved there, and that became sort of their secret.
He was also an enigma for me because of his demons. I remember one time in France, I ran one of the early cuts of a film that I did called Days of Wine and Roses. And he came to see it with Capucine. And he was keeping company with Capucine at that time. And when it was all over, he looked at her and he said, "Was I really that bad?" And she said, "Oh, worse." He said, I gave you that much trouble, did I? And she said, "At least."
Alcohol was a problem for him during his life, there's no doubt, and that's no secret everybody knows that. But I don't know if people do how much in his later life, how much he fought it, and the things he did. He would put himself in clinics. He would do anything in his power to try and get this monkey off his back.
I understood him, and he knew I understood him. And I think he felt a lot of people didn't understand him. He wasn't so complex to me. He was just a fellow who was all-around good guy, not that complicated, really. And people try to affix his tendency to drink as an indication of a great complicated personality. I think it's just the opposite. Because he wasn't a complicated personality, he probably felt a little out of sync with a complicated environment.
While he was living in Europe during the 60s, Bill continued to star in pictures. None achieved the success of those he'd made a decade earlier. Then, in 1969, he accepted a role unlike any he'd ever played before. The film was Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch. It was Bill Holden's biggest hit in years.
Well, why don't you answer me, you damn yellow-livered trash?
Now, Pike, you know
I
damn
don't
well.
know a damn thing except I either lead this bunch or end it right now. This was going to be my last. I'd like to make one good score and back off.
What do you want?
you on Angel. Back off to what?
What came out of him in Wild Bunch is nothing I don't think that you ever saw in any other performance that he ever did. The sheer toughness. I love the performance in Wild Bunch. I love the whole movie.
In 1974, after extended separations, Bill and Ardis ended their 30-year marriage. Bill now put more and more effort into improving the game preserve he had helped establish. Invariably at his side was actress Stephanie Powers.
Kirinyaga, that's what it's called. Not Kenya. The first time I saw it was in 1973 when Bill Holden first brought me out here and created a monster in me because I fell in love deeply with this country, and as I was already in love with the man, it was a very happy set of circumstances. Africa held a mystical attraction for Bill. He seemed most alive when he talked about the country, the people. He said he felt something very special here, something very basic. He said, going to Africa makes me feel so alive.
I'd heard various rumors about him. I'd heard he was very taciturn. I'd heard that he was very private, very unresponsive, did his work, went home, etc., etc. I'd heard that in the past there'd been a drinking problem. And I didn't really know what to expect, except that I just knew that there was something so perfect about him for that part. It was a very important movie for him because it had been a long time since he'd acted. And as so often happens when actors have done a series of pictures where they don't know quite what reason they did it for, they wonder if in a way the talent has dried up.
Every time you come back from seeing somebody in your family, you come back in one of these morbid, middle-aged moods.
Every goddamned executive fired from a network in the last 20 years has written this dumb book about the great early years of television. And nobody wants a dumb, damn, goddamn book about the early days of television.
He had a scene with Faye Dunaway that wasn't quite as emotionally full as I wanted it to be. And I caught something in the rehearsal, which was something that was happening with his eyes, a kind of an avoidance of her eyes in a way. And then one day in rehearsal, I just said, Bill, just try it and try not even to blink. Just lock into Faye's eyes and stay with her.
I went to visit my wife today because she's in a state of depression. So depressed that my daughter flew all the way from Seattle to be with her. And I feel lousy about that. I feel lousy about the pain that I've caused my wife and my kids. I feel guilty and conscience-stricken and all of those things that you think sentimental, but which my generation calls simple human decency. You're dealing with a man that has primal doubts, Diana.
What exactly is it you want me to do?
I just want you to love me.
William Holden again received an Academy Award nomination for his performance. Also nominated was the co-star Bill had come to know and respect, Peter Finch.
Peter, of course, was dead by this time. And that generosity of Bill's just came to the fore. I remember I looked at his face when Peter's name was announced, and tears came to his eyes. He was thrilled at it. He loved Peter. Peter loved him.
I think he was a kind of old-world gentleman with a value system, a code of ethics, morals that didn't particularly fit the time in which he was living.
In 1980, Bill Holden invited a television crew to visit the game preserve that had previously been off limits.
I always felt that I never wanted to capitalize on this particular involvement. And for the 22, 23 years, I really haven't done much about publicizing in any respect what we've been doing. But we all must recognize that there are phases in life, and going out and capturing either a rhino or elephant or a giraffe or whatever the animal might be, there's going to be a day when I'm not going to feel like doing it anymore. And I feel that in this particular interview that some of the things that we've tried to accomplish might be stated, that's all.
In the last 2 years, we seemed to run into each other more often than usual. And he did come through. I was living in Europe at the time, in Geneva, and he did stop by to see us, and he did see his first grandchild, at least from my part of the family, and he was thrilled to death about that. And there was a different look in his eye. There was something, he shared more, and somehow he had a tendency to I think he tried to reassure me that the love had always been there for us, even though he didn't have the time to necessarily express it all the time, and that he always did care, and his concern was genuine, and it was genuine. And consequently, we had a much warmer relationship. It was sort of like finding each other after so much time.
In 1981, Bill Holden played his final role. The picture was S.O.B., also starring Julie Andrews. The director, Blake Edwards.
He had a kind of dashing quality about him and that sense of humor. Plus, you know, he was a very handsome, youthfully handsome man, even in his 60s, when he'd come riding up to the set on his great big motorcycle.
Oh, easy, gal, easy.
Oh, you've got some fast moves for an old John Curry.
You okay?
Terrific. You know, you are sexually notorious.
Semi-fraudulent reputation, which I do everything I can to encourage.
Why?
Because it's the best way for an old man to compete in a young man's world.
But that charm was irreplaceable. When that smile came, it broke your heart as well as enchanted you. Incredible combination.
Oh, promise me that you will take my hand, the most unworthy in this lonely land.
So long, pal.
And let me sit beside you in your arms.
He faced life courageously, and he wasn't fearful of it.
He had that indefinable American, whatever it is, lack of complication. You felt like what you saw was what you were getting.
The statement of Bill's life was his work. He never did a bad job.
He had gone steadily better, greater, and was more widely accepted, and became more valuable to us every time we saw him. And it was, you know, the cut was in the wrong place.
This is the way he will be most remembered. In light and shadow, he traced what he was, as an actor and as a man. One we will never forget. He was, and always will be, the Golden Boy.
And good morning, everyone. I guess that is my cue to switch on everything. How are we this morning? I'm a little fuzzy this morning. While I had everything ready to go for the start of the show about an hour ago, I kind of lost it. I kind of lost a little bit. So we're going to be laid back this morning. We have our main topic this morning, which is the Rely tampons of the 1970s, and that whole fiasco that happened with toxic shock syndrome. We're also going to do a little. This morning, I'm probably a little frazzled because I got on and I printed out a bunch of stories that I kind of wanted to have some time filler. So I don't have any graphics for any of these 10 stories that I have, and we'll just kind of buzz through them as we can. And they're somewhat stories about consumerism, the American dream, the news around the world, kind of weird, bizarre news. So we're gonna do that. So I printed out a bunch of those stories, and we'll get into that at some point. This morning marks our. Is this our second Throwback Thursday? So we're still trying to get into the feel of things. I have changed my schedule here at home once again for school. My daughter is finishing up her last semester of university this year, so she'll be graduating in May. So my schedule now is twice a week driving down in the mornings and back, and twice a week driving down in the evenings and back. And last night was an evening, so we get home around 8 o'clock in the evening here after her evening class. So it takes me a little while to come down and unwind. I don't like to go right to sleep after driving for more than a few minutes, because I wake up with these nightmares of driving while asleep. I'm sleeping and then I'm driving, and the two collide, and I wake up panicked and sweating and nervous. So I try to kind of detox from the driving before I call it a night. The whole overall picture that you see is probably going to change somewhat occasionally from week to week, month to month, show to show. We're going to give little facial overhauls to the look of the show until we get it right. I'm still looking to find what feels good. Last night I swapped, or yesterday I swapped out the radio booth. So we had a facelift on the outside of the radio booth. And I tried to simplify it a little bit and put less kind of stuff there, but also give you exactly the feel that I want. So I think I've accomplished that with the radio show. I'm still up in the air about today's screen and Mondays. I don't know if I want to stick with one or bounce around. So if anybody shows up at any point, go ahead and let me know what you think. Let me go ahead and boot up my message board here so that I can be aware of any incoming messages. Miriam is standing by. Let me go ahead and bring up that. You know what I have to do in the mornings is remember to readjust, because one thing that I do on Wednesday is I swing everything to the right and I just worry about what's here because I'm just playing music. And on Thursdays, I have to swing everything back, so I'm back here. Pardon me. I gulped down a cup of coffee this morning before I arrived here at the microphone, so it has a tendency to say hello again. So let's kind of adjust things a little bit here. Bear with me as we get our crap together here. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree, Baba Rooney. I sure like this curtain back here. I'm glad my wife and daughter picked this out for me. Had I been there, I probably would have picked out something a little different. I like it because it's simple, it's gray. I've kind of pleated it a little bit, so we've got a curtain effect now rather than just a hanging chunk of material. Let me see. Let me kick this keyboard out of the way because we're not going to need it this morning. We're just going to be hanging out talking about products from the 1970s, 70s and 80s that we just had to have, right? We just had to have a lot of this crap. Why? Because we were being sold a lot of crap. So what do? We buy it up. We gobble it up. We gobble it up because that's what we are. We are consumers. We consume. The last week and a half of shows, I've been probably taking myself a little too seriously, doing the news and views and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna, leave kind of the serious stuff for maybe one day of the week. We'll get serious and do the news and get serious. Today we do have some serious topics, but seriously, folks, let's try to keep it light because we don't want this to be a downer morning. We just want to learn. We want to time travel. We want to learn. We want to experience the past, have fun. So if you're out there, if you're hanging out, if you're a wallflower, whoever you are, you're in a regular on the show. So thank you for joining me. We're just gonna keep it light. We are gonna keep it light, bouncy. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it bouncy. What I need to do here is keep a Post-it and a pen so I can keep track of commercial breaks, because we do have a whole lot of commercial breaks. What do we got? I've got 8, 9, 10 commercial breaks. So we can do 10 commercials an hour, which is just fantastic. I love the commercials because it helps to complete the time travel picture, right? So we're here on TV. It looks like I'm a little bit blurry, which is good. Blurry is good. I don't want a perfect picture coming to you. I want something that's a little bit off. So we are going to do probably 5 commercial breaks an hour, and that's roughly every 10 minutes. So we're going to go to a commercial break and see what happens. Stand by, because I'm going to be back with some bizarre news stories. And then at some point this morning, we're going to go right through the story about the toxic shock syndrome from the 1970s and the Rely tampons, and what a bummer that was. The illness from within, I think is what the news story was. All right, people, I will be back in a flash. Don't go away. Enjoy this commercial break. I always do. I got to turn on my monitor here and listen to it too. All right, I'll be back.
How do you get good gas mileage? Citation and Arriva.
Toyota and Arriva.
Lynx and Arriva.
Datsun and Arriva. Reliant and Arriva.
Goodyear Arriva. An all-season radial. A steel-belted radial designed for traction and to help you save gas. Even its footprint tells you it's different. How do you get good gas mileage?
Arriva, and 55 miles an hour.
Arriva. Only from Goodyear.
National Sports Zone. Call for the latest reports. 1313.
At 50 cents a call, you can know all the scores.
We're talking to you.
Does your house have enough insulation? Good. Have you seen what's happened to fuel costs lately? To fight back, get up in your attic and add an extra layer of Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Don't wait. Put your house in the pink. With Owens Corning fiberglass insulation today, it's cheaper than you know what.
Chevy makes good things happen. Introducing Chevrolet's Classics. 3 magnificent new automobiles designed for the 80s. Caprice Classic, the uppermost Chevrolet. Monte Carlo, a classic personal luxury car. And the elegant new Malibu Classic. All with available diesel power to carry you through the 80s in classic style. Chevy makes good things happen for you.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The people in St. Louis know their beer, but as a master brewer...
Schlitzer.
Thank you. I know one taste of my Schlitz can change a lot of minds. And now more people know.
I like Schlitz better than Bud.
I'm a Miller drinker, but you have to taste Schlitz to believe it.
Mr. Sillinger, your Schlitz tastes good. It's a good tasting beer.
Here's to it.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The name of one of America's major life insurance companies may surprise you. It's State Farm. We're probably better known for homeowners and car insurance, but more and more families are discovering we're good for life, too. We deal with customers on all kinds of family insurance, so we get to know their needs. Because we're family insurance agents, we can do a better job in your life insurance.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's life insurance the State Farm way.
Thursdays and nights, ABC is the place.
This fall, quirky little Mindy and I are going to get married, honeymoon on Orc, and I get pregnant. Let's see you get all that on cable TV.
Thursdays and nights, ABC is the place.
You've read about it, you've heard about it. But until now, you've never had a better chance to own it. It's the RCA Video Disc Player. The remarkable machine that plays records of movies, concerts, and more on your TV. And to help you be one of the first to own one, RCA is offering a $50 introductory bonus. Buy one now and you'll get $50 direct from RCA. But hurry, you may never have a better chance.
Buy your RCA disc player today and get 3 movies free plus a $50 factory rebate at La Monica's.
And good morning, we are back. It is Throwback Thursday today on pardon me, on the morning show. Like I said earlier, I'm still a little bit frazzled. I haven't been sleeping real well. In fact, I told a friend of mine the other day who is having some health issues that maybe he's having some kind of toxic issues. Maybe he needs to detox from something. I said, just put everything down. I said, get rid of everything. Put your phone down. Stop doing the things that you normally do. Stop eating the things you normally do. If you take a handful of pills every day, stop that for a while and see what happens. You know. And then if you start feeling better, well then slowly start reintroducing some of the things a little bit at a time so you can see what's fucking with you. Anywho, let's just kind of push into some of the major health scares, consumer health scares of the 1970s and 80s. Toxic hair relaxers and scalp burns in the 1970s and 80s. Several brands caused chemical burns and hair loss and long-term scalp damage. Wow, lawsuits and FDA scrutiny followed. Very. Infant formula nutrient deficiency crisis. Certain formulas lacked essential nutrients, causing metabolic disorders and hospitalizations. And of course, it led to stricter FDA nutritional standards. Aerosol adhesives and sprays that would cause explosions and severe respiratory injuries. Multiple recalls and reformulations. Caustic oven cleaners, highly alkali aerosol cleaners caused chemical burns and lung damage. Required new warning labels and child-proofing. That's horrible. You go to clean your oven and then you wind up in the hospital or dead. I know someone who's had a family member who was degreasing an engine outside and in the vehicle, and was degreasing the engine. And good morning, Cassie. How are you this morning? I'm just talking about some consumer health scares from the 1970s and 80s. And most recently, a friend of mine had a relative who was degreasing an engine and was spraying the degreaser, and a gust of wind came and blew it right in his face. And he inhaled. Didn't have a mask, didn't have any goggles on or anything. And he inhaled, and very quickly it eventually killed him. And that sucks, because with just simple safety measures, it could have been prevented, and that's just horrible. We've got a few other bizarre stories here, or rather major health concern stories. Flammable children's sleepwear. Pajamas treated with tris flame retardant were found to be carcinogenic, and they were banned under the Flammable Fabrics Act. Wow. So flame retardant stuff made flammable children's underwear. That's crazy. Ah, that's right. You're not Sassy Cassie anymore. Ah, yeah, totally. There's a lot of weird lead soldered canned foods. So the canned foods were contaminated because of the lead they used to solder the can shut. Perfectly healthy food goes in, a little lead, poison. Juice and soft drink, benzene contamination. Certain beverages formed benzene, a carcinogen, under heat and light. Wow. Let's see. We had product linked to illnesses with major media coverage. Jarts, lawn darts, caused skull punctures and child fatalities. That's crazy. So I'm going to take my list here of major consumer health scares and pull from it to give you some more in-depth coverage of some of those stories. My major topic this morning, and thank you for joining me, Cassie, is TSS. A lot of people nowadays have no clue. What is that, a new airlines? No. A mystery in the aisles is what TSS was. Toxic shock syndrome. Let's just picture this. It's the late 1970s. America is in love with convenience. Microwave ovens are marching into kitchens. Plastic is a miracle material at the moment. And in the world of feminine hygiene, companies are racing, sprinting to create the most absorbent, long-lasting tampon ever made. This is the backdrop for one of the most unsettling medical mysteries of the era, toxic shock syndrome. A condition so sudden, so severe, and so baffling that doctors initially didn't know what they were looking at. Healthy young women, teenagers, college students, new mothers were arriving in emergency rooms with fevers over 104 degrees, rashes that looked like sunburns, plummeting blood pressure, and organ systems shutting down as if someone had flipped a switch. At first it didn't make sense. These weren't people with chronic illness. These weren't folks with long medical histories. These were vibrant, active women who had been fine that morning and were fighting for their lives by nightfall. The Centers for Disease Control began tracking cases, and slowly a pattern emerged, a pattern that pointed towards something so ordinary, so everyday, that it seemed impossible. Tampons. But not just any tampons. The new generation of super absorbent synthetic fiber tampons, marketed as the future of menstrual care. Products like Rely, which promised, in fact, let me do this here. There we go. Products like Rely, which promised to absorb virtually anything, and they did. But they also created the perfect environment for certain strains of Streptococcus aureus bacteria to produce toxins that could enter the bloodstream and trigger catastrophic shock. Whew. This was the moment when the private became public, when a product used quietly, discreetly, and personally suddenly became the center of a national headlines. When the aisles of drugstores, those fluorescent lit rows of boxes of promises, became a battleground for science, safety, and trust. And as the investigation deepened, America began to realize something uncomfortable. We had been innovating faster than we had been regulating. Pardon me this morning. These stories really hit me hard and heavy sometimes. So let me just take a break to gather myself, and we're going to go to a commercial real quick so I can put myself back together. So don't go away. I'll be right back.
Alexis Lachine wines are full of flavor. Alexis Lachine wines are dry. Alexis Lachine wines are mellow. Drink an Alexis Lachine wine with any kind of food, or anytime you feel like relaxing with a drink. Alexis Lachine, fine French wines.
I have this terrible problem with my hair after shampooing. The comb gets stuck in the tangles and it hurts. Thank goodness Johnson's just invented no more tangles. Mommy just sprays some on at no more tangles. And see how shiny and manageable my hair stays. Johnson's no more tangles. The first cream rinse for children.
You are looking at a heart valve made of titanium. One of these beats in the heart of Anthony Triola, and United States Steel is involved. Anthony is maitre d' of a busy New York restaurant. A year ago, he couldn't walk across the room without panting. Today, he works hard, plays with his son, lives an active life thanks to modern surgery and a titanium valve. The titanium comes from Reactive Metals Incorporated, an affiliate of United States Steel. The bouncing ball is the key part of the valve. Our metallurgists found how to weld it so it's hollow, perfectly balanced, and strong enough to last a whole new lifetime. Thousands of people live useful lives because our titanium helps bring advances to modern surgery. At United States Steel, we're involved.
What my husband gave me for my birthday? An apple tree. Obviously, he doesn't think I look like the glamorous type. I guess he thinks I look more like the healthy outdoor type.
A wife and mother talks about healthy-looking skin and ivory soap.
If my skin's fresh and healthy looking, I guess it's 'cause I've gotten down to basics. You know, fresh air, sunshine, healthy foods, and lots of soap and water. Which the kids aren't too crazy about. We use Ivory around this house. Ivory's natural soap. Simple, basic soap. Ivory cleans gently, and to me, gentle, regular cleaning, very basic for healthy-looking skin. All that, along with Ivory's purity, and more doctors recommending it than any other soap, give me a lot of confidence in Ivory, you know.
Get down to basics with Ivory, a natural soap for healthy-looking skin.
Kids seem to keep on getting dirty. You seem to take it all in stride. You got a lot more dirt with children. You get a lot more clean with new Tide. Now there's a new Tide, designed just for you, Tide, to get out the dirt kids get into. You got a lot more dirt with children. You get a lot more clean with new generation Tide.
And we are back this morning, people. I want to apologize for getting a little emotional in the last segment, but it'll probably happen again, so get used to it. I don't know why, but some of these stories that I remember from the past just really give me a punch in the gut sometimes. So bear with me. Let's get into part 2, the Rely Revolution and the recall heard round the country. To understand the scale of the crisis, you have to understand the ambition behind Rely. Procter & Gamble wanted to break into a market dominated by other brands. They wanted something bold, something new, something that would redefine the category. And so they created a tampon made of cotton or rayon, but of synthetic superabsorbent materials. That's not of cotton or rayon, but of superabsorbent materials that swelled into a gel-like mass. This was a marvel of engineering and a disaster of biology. By 1980, the CDC had linked hundreds of cases of toxic shock syndrome to tampon use, and one brand kept appearing in the case files more than any other. The evidence mounted, the pressure grew, and in September of 1980, Procter & Gamble pulled Rely. Here we go. Pulled Rely. I lost my spot. Pulled Rely from the shelves in one of the largest feminine hygiene recalls in American history. But the story didn't end there. Because of the TSS crisis, wasn't just about one product. It was about a system that allowed materials, new chemicals, and new designs to enter the marketplace faster than science could understand their risks. And this wasn't the first time. America had seen something like this. Take this case of Buddy Ebsen, the original Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. During early filming, MGM used aluminum dust makeup, real metallic particles to give him that shimmering, silvery look. But no one understood the danger. No one realized that inhaling fine metal particles could cause severe life-threatening reaction. Ebsen collapsed on set, was hospitalized for weeks, and suffered lung problems for the rest of his life. Innovation first, safety later, consequences forever. The TSS crisis forced America to confront a hard truth. We were trusting products simply because they were on the shelf. And now the shelf itself was under investigation. Yeah. Let's see, we have a comment on the board here. Well, thank you. Science shock, the story behind the statistics. All right, let's go to part 3, and then we'll go to a commercial. Behind every statistic in the TSS crisis was a human story, a family rushing to the ER, a doctor flipping through medical textbooks, a community stunned by the sudden loss of someone young and vibrant. Doctors described the illness as lightning in the bloodstream. One moment a patient was sitting upright talking, the next their blood pressure dropped so fast the organs began to fail. It was terrifying, unpredictable, and deeply misunderstood. Researchers eventually discovered that certain tampon materials, especially the synthetic absorbent fibers, interacted with a body in ways that encouraged bacterial toxin production. And the marketing of leave-in longer, convenience only, amplified the danger. But TSS wasn't the only example of a product linked to medical mystery of the era. Consider the aerosol hairspray scares of the 1970s, when propellants caused respiratory distress and even explosions. The TRIS treated children's pajamas, marketing as flame-resistant, but later found contained carcinogenic chemicals. The contaminated talcum powders that were later discovered to contain asbestos fibers. The humidifier fever outbreaks caused by mold and bacteria growing in devices meant to improve health. Each case followed the same arc. The product enters the home, the problem emerges, a pattern forms, and only then does the public learn what was hidden beneath the surface. The TSS crisis wasn't an isolated event. It was part of a larger story, a story about the hidden risks of modern life and the delicate balance between convenience and caution. Oh my goodness, what a story. Yeah, I remember this story from back in the day. And I knew women, I knew girls were using these products. I had friends that were using products like this. So it concerned me. But what concerned me the most was just that we were being given products that we were just supposed to trust. And now, the trust is gone. What they do is they just put a warning label. They don't have to admit. All they have to do is put a warning label. And then it's your fault. If you use it, hey, we put a label there, you used it. You bought the fast food. We said it was going to give you cancer, but you ate it anyway. And that's the deeply troubling thing about consumerism, is that they will give you whatever they want to give you and claim that it's your own fault. You bought it. All right, we'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Kmart is more than any store you have known before. Kmart means you get quality.
Have you compared leading cold creams with the fabulous warm cream called Albolene? You should. Albolene melts on your skin. Cold cream stays heavy. Albolene cleans eye makeup beautifully better. Both sides appear clean. But watch these oil-treated pads. See how much eye makeup cold cream leaves behind compared to Albolene. Albolene cleans makeup beautifully better than leading cold creams. Albolene, the warm cream.
And I noticed, Miss Christian, today you bought Tide. Is this your regular brand?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yes.
What do you like about it?
My clothes get very clean.
Tell me, what kind of dirt do these pretty young ladies get into?
Every kind. And I have a boy that plays Little League Baseball, and he does get dirty also. Yeah. And plays in the swamp and hunts for frogs.
Have you ever tried the others?
Some samples through the mail, but I like Tide, and I like my children to look nice and clean.
I'm going to see how much you really like it. I'm going to take it away from you. I'm going to offer you twice as much of another leading detergent. I'll keep your Tide. I'll give you twice as much of another.
No. I want my Tide.
But there's twice as much here.
I want my Tide.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
There's no way I can talk out of it?
No, for 15 years I've used Tide, and I don't want to change. I like it.
Why do you like it enough to turn down 2 for 1?
Because it's that good.
So that's the way it is. Some ladies won't swap their Tide for even twice as much of another leading detergent. Get Tide, because you know you can trust Tide to get clothes clean.
Greatest shaving product ever made for after-shower shavers like me. New Formula 409 Bathroom Cleaner. Gets bathroom surfaces so clean even steam won't stick. The mirror proves it. Try cleaning half your mirror the usual way. half with new 409 bathroom cleaner. See the other side steam up? The 409 side so clean, steam won't stick. Get 409 bathroom cleaner, the better bathroom cleaner. It sure revolutionized shaving.
When you and your family visit Walt Disney World in Florida, come, stay in this spectacular hotel. It's one of two that United States Steel helped plan and build here. But this is more than a hotel. It's a prototype of a whole new way to build, and we're involved. Everything about it is striking, but most unusual is the way the rooms were made. Instead of being built in place, the rooms for this hotel were assembled in a nearby factory by our American Bridge Division. First came a steel frame, then a floor of poured concrete, wall panels from our USS Holmes Division. Next, the ceiling with air conditioning built right in. Then wall covering, a complete bath, even sliding doors. When the units leave the factory, they're trucked to the site and fitted into this 14-story frame like drawers into a chest. We're confident that schools, hospitals, and other structures will soon be built this revolutionary way. We not only supplied the structural steel, the cement and the foundations came from our Universal Atlas Cement Division. So come, stay at this unique hotel, a remarkable place inside and out. We're finding new ways to build. At United States Steel, we're involved.
Kmart is all the things a great store should be. Quality at discount prices, satisfaction always you'll see. Kmart.
And we are back this morning. Thank you for returning with me this morning. I want my Tide. Give me my Tide. I love that last commercial with was that United States Steel, where they're going and doing the Disney World, one of the Disney World buildings, and the way they structured the building so that they could just crane every room and just slide it into a slot. I thought that was great. Each little tiny homes built and then slotted into a little case. And they wonder how there you go. There you go. There you go. It was Tide. That's what did it. That's what turned him into a white business guy. All right, let's get through this last section of the Toxa Shock Saga. The legacy of TSS, lessons, labels, and the long shadow of trust. By the mid-1980s, the TSS crisis had to reshape the entire feminine hygiene industry. Absorbency standards were created, uniform labeling became mandatory, and the now familiar TSS warning appeared on every box, and manufacturers returned to safer materials. But the legacy of TSS goes deeper than regulations. It changed how America thought about product safety. It changed how companies tested new materials. It changed how the FDA evaluated risk. And it changed how consumers, especially women, demanded transparency. And it also changed how we remember the past. Because when you look back at stories like Buddy Ebsen's near-fatal reaction to aluminum dust, or children's harmful toxic pajamas, or the families affected by contaminated formulas, you may begin to see a pattern that stretches across decades. We often didn't understand the dangers of products until someone gets hurt. The TSS crisis forced a national reckoning and reminded us that progress is powerful, but only when paired with responsibility. It taught us that the human body is not a testing ground for unproven materials. And it showed us that the quiet corners of everyday life, the medicine cabinet, the makeup drawer, the grocery aisle, can hold stories of dramatic and consequential as anything on the evening news. In the end, the toxic shock syndrome crisis wasn't just a medical mystery. It was a cultural turning point, a consumer awakening, a reminder that trust is earned, not assumed. And for those who lived through it, the memory remains vivid. A moment when America realized that even the most ordinary products can carry extraordinary risks. Sorry. Okay, that is the... And now, what is happening in America? We are giving our trust to pharmaceutical companies, and we are allowing them to put chemical cocktails into our bodies with fancy, cute commercials and cute little names with side effects that list into the hundreds. And we're doing this to ourselves. We're allowing them to do this to us. It's right here, people. It's right there. And it just goes on and on and on. If this had happened to someone that I love, especially now, things would get really ugly. Don't let this happen to you yourselves. Don't do this to yourself, because that's what's happening. You're doing this to yourself. When you allow them to just con you into this crap. It even happens with the electronics. Don't sleep with your phone on. Don't sleep with your phone anywhere near you. Don't use those headphone things all the time. Don't even use them. There are so many things, everyday things around you. That's why I live in the past. The past doesn't hurt as much as the present, especially with the... saw a warning label for medication on TV last night that mentioned loss of lower limbs. There you go. Side effects too many to mention. I'm like, what the hell? Are these just the good ones? Loss of lower limbs. Oh, we better go to a commercial break so I can get my act together. So where are we? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna on speakerphone. Yeah, me too. I totally use my phones on speaker. Yeah, because I don't even want to put the receiver up to my ear anymore. I just punch the button and I'm on speakerphone. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna run on down to the surplus store and get me some food. Right. I'm gonna get me some MREs. I'll be back in a flash. Don't go away.
Presenting the Burger King Meal Combo.
You get a Whopper, large fries. Just wait, there's more. And a Coke medium size. Meal combo, what a deal. Or a bacon double cheese. Large fries, medium Coke.
Can I have a meal combo?
Please. I'm getting
very hungry.
Come get all this good food. Aha, you'll pay less than you would. Great price.
What a deal.
What a meal. Aren't you hungry for a meal combo now?
Meet Dustin Tootsie Hoffman, 6:30 Wednesday.
Good evening. I'm Susan Hutchison with an Eyewitness News update. The voters who didn't go to the polls are deciding many of tonight's school levy elections. So far, Fife is the only one that has passed. A protest pays off for some local veterans. And in part 2 of our Washington at War series, how a camouflaged Seattle fooled the enemy in World War II. And in the Mideast, troop withdrawal from Lebanon could be slowed by the report released on the Beirut massacre.
Cut window heat loss by 1/2 with storm windows and doors. Now on sale at the gas company. Call us today.
Update at 11 and on Close-Up at 11:30, a rape victim tells how to prevent rape in Seattle.
When I wanted to lose weight, I went to my pharmacy. You see, like most people, I trust my pharmacist. So when I discovered that more pharmacists recommend the Dexatrim diet plan, that was good enough for me. Dexatrim really helps curb your appetite so you eat less and lose weight. It's been proven in 7 years of clinical testing. Those pharmacists are right. I lost weight with Dexatrim and I feel great.
Lose weight with Dexatrim. More pharmacists recommend it than any other weight loss product.
Meet Lipton tea lover Don Meredith.
Hey, this isn't Lipton.
How'd you know, Don?
You didn't use Lipton's flow-through bag.
I knew you guys couldn't fool him.
Don, what makes Lipton so different?
The special tea's in here.
Show me.
Okay, let's see. They say there's around 20 quality teas in here. Gotta be this rich blend makes it taste so good.
You really do know your Lipton.
Can't fool a Lipton tea lover.
We tried.
Now there's a new way to be a Lipton tea lover. Lipton Orange and Spice Tea. Zesty.
Can't help but smile. Each passing mile brings my heart home to you.
Color and condition that should have been yours can be. Make it happen. Nice and easy. It sells the most. It conditions the most.
Just a minute.
Hi.
Hi. Hey. Hey.
We love high C, cause it's got vitamin C. And its great taste is the only one for me. When the gang's all together, oh how we love high C.
Kids love high C fruit drinks. And because every glass has 100% of the recommended daily allowance of vitamin C, moms love it too.
Moms and kids agree, yeah.
Oh how we love high C. How we love high C.
Escape into daydreams. The fragrance of sunlit moments. Laughter shared. And beautiful dreams waiting to come true. Daydreams, the romantic new fragrance for memories that linger.
And we're back, and I was just reading a message from Cassie that says she was watching the commercials, and she recently discovered that the tea bags nowadays are filled with billions of microplastics. I don't know what the hell microplastics are here in the 70s and 80s, but I was looking at the commercial for the tea, and she switched to tea for health, and now she's getting microplastics. Oh, that's great. I was looking at that same commercial and thinking, that looks like pot, man. Let's roll a doobie. No, I was thinking, he said it was 20 different kinds of teas, which means that it sounds like floor sweepings to me, right? You're in a tea factory, and you wind up with all of this different tea on the floor at the end of the shift. What do? It's all mixed. Bag it up. Let's sell it to Lipton, and they'll make tea bags out of it. Joy. Yeah, so much for switching to tea for your health. I'll stick to coffee. I do coffee every morning. I get up at 20 to 4 a.m. I start drinking coffee immediately because Mr. Coffee's got it ready for me. And I drink coffee for about an hour. Finish that cup, and then I go live. And I'm here, people. I am here. This next hour, we are going to talk about some kind of weird, bizarre events from the past. So I've got 10 events from the past here that I just printed out this morning, and we are going to talk about as many as we can talk about in the next hour. Generic cigarettes were made from floor sweepings. Yeah. If you go to the nowadays pot shops and get those $10 joints that they sell in a little plastic tube, more than likely you're getting floor sweepings. You're getting whatever is left at the end of the day. They take it, they put it into a machine that grinds it up and rolls it into little doobies, and that's what you get. And they say, oh, it's this, and it comes from that plant that's this, but it's not quite that. So I don't buy those when I go to a pot shop. rarely, in fact, I don't buy any, but sometimes they'll give them away. And that's the only time that I'll use those pot shop joints. Because I prefer to know exactly what's in my paper. And in fact, I'll go ahead and dump it out. I don't do anything that's coated with anything, no flavors, no, what do they call those additives, the spray-on additives that they use on a pot? Infused. I don't do anything infused. What are you kidding me? It's bad enough that I smoke. And I'm going to put more crap and more poisons? I don't think so. I don't think so, mister. I don't think so, mister. That's Andy talking to Frodo. I don't think so, mister. All right, let's start off with... well, yeah, let's do a story before we go to our last commercial for the hour, because I'm right on time this morning. I'm glad I printed out these stories this morning. Disco Demolition Night. There are nights in American history when the country seems to collectively lose its mind. And then there is July 12th, 1979, when Chicago decided to blow up disco. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. A crate of records, a minor league style promotion, and a baseball stadium full of people who had apparently been waiting for permission to riot since the Ford administration. The setting was Comiskey Park, home of the White Sox, a team that needed help filling seats. Let me pause here and look at my message board. The bottom of the barrel crap. Yeah, I knew I was right. Yeah, real hard. It packs it into joint. Yeah, exactly. I knew that. But it's all just ground together crap. All right. We are back to Comiskey Park here. Promotions were the lifeblood of the era. Bat Day, Helmet Day, 10-cent beer day. Ooh. But this one, 10-cent beer night, which had already had proven that giving the public too much of anything was a bad idea. But this one was a special kind of energy. A DJ radio named Steve Dahl, recently fired when his station switched to disco, had become the patron saint of the anti-disco movement. I love disco. He rallied his followers, the insane coho lips, because the 70s never missed a chance to name something poorly. The insane coho lips. Okay. He promised a cathartic explosion at the ballpark. Anywho, the plan was simple: bring a disco record, get in for 98 cents, and watch Dahl blow up the whole pile. Blow the pile sky high between games of a doubleheader. What the hell could go wrong with that, right? Well, everything could go wrong. By the time the first game ended, the stadium was packed, and tens of thousands of people were not there for baseball. They were there for vengeance. They were there for spectacle. They were there because of the 70s, because the 70s had been a long decade of blowing something up. Sounded therapeutic, right? The air had that strange electricity you feel right before a summer storm, except the storm was wearing cut-off shorts and carrying a beer. When Dahl rolled onto the field in an army jeep, the crowd roared like he was leading them into battle. He gave a speech that was half pep rally, half exorcism, and then he hit the detonator. The explosion was bigger than anyone expected. Records shot into the air like vinyl shrapnel. Vinyl shrapnel. A crater opened in center field, and for a moment there was silence. A kind of stunned silence that says, we may have made a mistake. Ah, jeez. Then the crowd surged. Thousands of people poured onto the field, tearing up the turf, lighting fires, climbing foul poles, and generally behaving like civilization had ended and disco had been the first casualty. The second game was canceled. The White Sox forfeited. The American League had to pretend this was all very normal. Looking back, it's easy to laugh. The absurdity, the chaos, the sheer 1979ness of it all. But there's something else underneath it too. A decade ending not with a sigh, but with a detonation. A cultural shift happening in real time, loud and messy and impossible to ignore. The 70s had been a strange glitter-covered ride, and this was the moment the country collectively said, all right, that's enough. And yet, in quiet hindsight, you can almost admire the spectacle. Only in America could a baseball promotion accidentally become a cultural funeral. Only in the 1970s could a music genre be declared dead by a man in a military helmet pressing a plunger. And only in Chicago could the crowd respond by stealing the bases. It was bizarre. It was reckless. It was unforgettable. And it remains one of the few nights in sports history when the scoreboard wasn't the story. The crater in center field was. Oh, that's crazy. All right, let's go to a commercial break, and I'll be back around the top of the hour. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Don't go away, Cassie.
Nobody else has it.
But what is it, Mr. Foster?
Aquafresh's triple protection formula. They took the label off to show you. All the cavity-fighting fluoride are the leading paste. All the breath freshener are the leading gel. And gentle cleaners that even remove stained film. Concentrated in one complete toothpaste. Aquafresh has it all.
That's why we all use Aquafresh.
Triple protection Aquafresh. A complete toothpaste.
Honey, look at you. You're drenched.
Oh, are my sinuses stuffed?
You need Dristan long-lasting nasal mist. It's deep penetrating, so it'll help clear your sinus congestion.
Look, in just seconds, Dristan shrinks swollen nasal membranes, penetrates deep to break through nasal congestion, helps open sinus passages, and helps keep them drained all day.
Hey, that Dristan sure does penetrate. My sinuses are feeling better already.
Dristan long-lasting spray helps clear sinus congestion.
You don't see their faces. You don't know their names. But they capture moments you'll never forget. CBS News cameraman, like Alain DeBeau. When you want to know, you know where to turn. No one knows the world like CBS News, the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. This is CBS.
What's for lunch?
Surprise.
A hamburger.
No, it's a chicken patty.
Looks like
a hamburger. Taste it.
Tastes like
chicken.
Chicken.
100% chicken. Like with chicken patties.
Great idea.
Bet the hamburger people are mad.
Nah,
Sure they are.
Maybe a little.
New Banquet Patties, Nuggets, and Sticks are 100% tender, juicy chicken. Gonna drive hamburger lovers mad.
We told you.
The Bon is on the air with two great home entertainment buys. Save $200 on our newest Fisher Component stereo system, featuring advanced quartz lock digital receiver, belt drive turntable, and two-way speakers. Now just $399. Or save $80 on this 19-inch Magnavox color TV with simplistic styling and advanced design concepts. After sale price $449. Now just $369. We're on the air with outstanding savings now through Sunday at the Bon.
More attention, more jobs for vets. An update at 11.
I make difficult decisions every day, but not about tampons. I switched to Playtex. It's unbeatable protection. Only Playtex tampons have a double-layer design.
Only Playtex.
I change my mind a lot, but not about tampons. I switch to Playtex. They're comfortable, and I get a special plastic applicator.
Only Playtex. I keep trying new routines, but not with tampons.
Playtex tampons and Playtex deodorant tampons. Unbeatable protection.
Only Playtex.
That face, that CoverGirl face. It glows, it shows that clean makeup face.
With CoverGirl Clean Makeup, you know you look your best. It's Noxema Pure, so you're sure of fresh, natural color and clean coverage that lasts.
That CoverGirl face.
CoverGirl Clean Makeup by Noxema. The makeup for that face.
Ooh, that face.
It's really great,
To look your best.
more beautiful each day. With silky, sexy,
Shiny hair.
The Vidal Sassoon way.
Make Vidal Sassoon shampoo part of your daily three-step plan for beautiful hair.
Cause if you don't look good, we don't look good. We take pride in you. If you don't look good, we don't look good. Vidal Sassoon.
And we are back. This is the Elsinore Brothers Network, the finest in home entertainment. That's funny, huh? I love making these little commercial breaks and my station identifications and my little intros and outros and stuff. It's my therapy. It keeps me from depression. It keeps me from anxiety and stress and all the little things in life that bug you. So I do this. I don't get paid for this. My channel is not monetized. I don't have any fundraising. I don't. This is all me. This is a hobby. It is not a business. It is a hobby. I'm doing this because I just love to sit here and pretend. I've been pretending my entire life. When I would have to get a new job somewhere, I would just pretend I know what I'm doing. I love to pretend. Let's do another story before we go to another commercial break. I love the commercial breaks. I really do. There have been some really great. I like how they're lining up with. It's not just by chance. They're lining up with today's stories, with the commercials about makeup and tampons and the products that we use, that we trust, right? And it's important to notice. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So let's get into some more bizarre, weird stories from the past. Like I said before, I printed these out this morning, and I have no graphics, or we would have graphics hanging here this morning next to us. So we don't have anything. So let's just use our imagination. All right. There was a stretch of time in the early 1970s when stepping onto an airplane in the United States carried a peculiar, almost casual question in the back of your mind. Not, will the flight be on time? But, are we going to get hijacked today? Thank you. I see on the message board here that Cassie loves the commercials as well. Cool. Yeah, are we going to get hijacked today? It sounds absurd now, like a punchline from a parody of the decade. But for a few surreal years, hijackings were so common that they blended into the background noise of American life. You could be halfway through your complimentary cigarette and tiny cup of tomato juice when the captain came over the intercom to announce a slight change of plans. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now heading to Havana. It was even shocking. It wasn't even shocking. It was Tuesday. The roots of this strange chapter go back to the late 60s when a handful of people, political dissidents, thrill seekers, fugitives, and the occasional person who simply wanted a free trip to Cuba. Let me put my finger there. You used to be able to get onto a plane and sit down, and the plane would take off, and the stewardess would come through and ask for your ticket. And if you didn't have a ticket, she would just ask you to pay. And you would pay right there, and then she'd write you out a ticket, and she'd give it back to you. And there was your ticket. You could just walk onto a plane back then. Yeah. So American airports discovered that they had no real security. None. You could walk onto a plane with a briefcase full of dynamite, a pistol tucked into your belt, or, in one memorable case, a sword. No metal detectors, no bag checks, no questions. The sky was open. Once the first few hijackings made headlines, the floodgates were open. Suddenly, it felt like everyone had a grievance or a half-baked plan. They wanted their moment in the clouds. Hijackings became so frequent that news anchors delivered them with the same tone they used for weather updates. Scattered showers in the Midwest, and another flight diverted to Cuba this afternoon. The public barely blinked. Cassie used to fly back between California and Washington when she was really young. The planes were getting hijacked or falling apart just after I stopped flying back and forth. Yeah, there you go. They were grounding entire lines, and they're still doing it today, grounding entire lines of airplanes. There's something wrong. We got to stop. Crazy. The airline's not doing enough maintenance, right? Airlines, for their part, tried to keep things calm. They trained flight attendants to stay composed, offer drinks, treat hijackers like difficult customers rather than airborne criminals. There's a story, and it's true, of a hijacker being served cocktails while negotiating with the pilot. Another demanded parachutes and cash, and the airline, not wanting to upset him, obliged with the kind of customer service that would make modern travels weep with envy. Boy. And then there were the motives. Some hijackers were political, some were desperate, some were delusional, and some were just confused. One man hijacked a plane because he thought Cuba was still paying rewards for defectors. It wasn't. Another demanded to be flown to the Soviet Union, only to discover mid-flight that he didn't actually know where it was. Geography was not the strong suit of the airborne criminal class. But the strangest part, the part that feels almost dreamlike in hindsight, is how routine it all became. Pilots developed a kind of professional courtesy about it. They'd land in Havana and hand the hijacker over to Cuban authorities, refuel, and fly back like it was just another stop on the route. No, that was not D.B. Cooper. And fly back like it was just another stop on the route. Passengers would disembark, stretch their limbs, maybe buy a postcard, and get back on the plane. Imagine explaining that to a modern traveler who gets upset when the Wi-Fi cuts out. Oy. Of course, the absurdity couldn't last forever. By 1972, the government realized that, just maybe, letting anyone stroll onto an aircraft with a weapon wasn't ideal. So, they introduced metal detectors and bag screening. People were outraged. They said it was an invasion of privacy. Of course they would. An inconvenience, an overreach. But the hijackings dropped almost overnight. Turns out, when you make it slightly harder to bring a gun onto a plane, fewer people try to take over the flight. Hey, who knew? Looking back, the whole era feels like a fever dream, like when the skies were lawless and the stakes were high and logic was non-existent. It was dangerous yet chaotic. Absolutely. Was it dangerous? Yes, chaotic. Absolutely. Okay. But it was also unmistakably, undeniably 70s. A decade where the rules were still being written, and sometimes written at 30,000 feet. And in quiet reflection, you can almost hear the echo of the era, the hum of the engines, the clink of ice and plastic cups, and the weary voice of a pilot saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing in Havana shortly. Thank you for your patience." We're going to go to a commercial because I have to use the little boy's room. So I will be back in a flash, people. Don't go away.
Oh, they'll be out.
Not with that congested cough. You look drained.
I feel drained.
Take Formula 44D. You'll feel like your congested cough is being drained away.
Sure.
It's the only leading formula strong enough to relieve your cough and congestion.
It does have a strong cough suppressant.
And 2 decongestants. Well?
Thanks to Formula 44D.
Your day didn't go down the drain.
Vicks Formula 44D drains your congested cough so it won't drain you.
I don't feel 1 ounce of guilt when I eat. I eat at Wendy's. Wendy's has a new light menu. Hundreds of lower-calorie salads with new fresh fruit and pasta salad. Wendy's light menu even has a lower-calorie multigrain bun. I eat all I want from Wendy's light menu. Now, do I look like I feel 1 ounce of guilt?
Try Wendy's new light menu.
Hello, my name is Allie McGraw. How would you feel if someone you know, someone you care about, someone you love got cancer? 1 out of 4 Americans now living will get cancer. And maybe somebody who really means a great deal to you will get it. Then what? With early diagnosis and treatment, the chances for a cure are good. But what if your friend, the one you love, has a cancer we can't cure? The truth? The only hope is research. And right now there are life-saving research projects being held up. Do you know why? Money. There simply isn't enough money. People always dig down and give after a tragedy. Don't wait. Please, give now.
It melts, it pours, it cooks just right. Less fat, great taste, Velveeta light. So rich, so smooth in every bite. That's why you'll love Velveeta light. All this exquisite taste and looks and mountability. It's got 1/3 less fat and low cholesterol. Cook with a lighter look tonight. With new Velveeta light.
It's stuck. You see? Yeah. Every channel. Light beer. Light beer. Well, we're gonna have to drain it. Grab anything that'll hold beer. Oh, and call some friends over.
Will you look at that?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Miller Lite made beer better.
The great Pilsner taste keeps you ahead of it all.
Everybody likes that.
You don't say beer now, you say light.
The beer that beers become.
Miller Lite.
It's it?
And that's that.
She cost me 200 big ones, but I know she's worth twice that.
Looking for a good value? Now at KFC, get a 10-piece bucket of chicken for $8, and the second's just $4. The double bucket deal, only from KFC.
Monday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday,
Kellogg's Fun Pack. Choosing one is half the fun.
Mom, what day is it?
A baby changes everything. Safety takes on a whole new meaning when it's somebody you love in that car. This is our family. They're the most technically advanced and lifelike dummies in the world. Only GM uses a family like this to develop safety technology because we know quality cars, safe cars, should help protect everyone. I look at my family and I want us to be thinking of everything.
GM safety. It's not one thing, it's everything. She's everything to me.
Pardon me, I got a little frazzled there. I was watching the commercials and dealing with my copy here, and got a little bit lost. So we had a few seconds there of dead air. Thank you for your compliment, Cassie. I'm doing the show now that I imagined the show to be about 10 years ago or so, when I first envisioned all of this. And what I'm doing is I'm taking everything that I've learned in the last 2 years about going live and creating videos and original content, and kind of throwing it into the blender and giving you a hodgepodge of the morning show and the Video Time Machine, which is a series that I did for 2 seasons, and I loved that so much. And I found that I could bring you so many of those elements here live because it's a non-monetized channel. I don't make any money off of this, so I can bring you this copyrighted material, and I just have to let you know that, and you see it in the video stuff, that it's got copyrighted material. So there you go. Thank you. She said it's perfectly me. I appreciate that. And if you tune in every day is different. Tomorrow we kind of go old school and we just have the regular big screen with me on it. Monday we're on a theater screen, or a studio screening room, or a drive-in theater, or something like that, because it's Monday Movie Memories. On Tuesdays we're doing a Totally Television Tuesday, so we're back in the tube, and we're doing news, hard-hitting news stories from the and I just finished putting that together for this next week, and it's great. And then on my favorite day of the week is Wednesday, when I do an old radio show, and I'm a DJ, and we talk about old DJs and old stations. We play old radio commercials, and we play 1920s and 30s jazz music, which is stuff that I can get away with playing here. And it's great material. And I did a show like this called Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia, a live show, 5 nights a week, while doing 5 mornings a week for a little while. And then I switched to just Friday nights. And then I burned myself out on it. So I thought I would reprise it and bring it back to you. So I'm a DJ on Wednesdays. This is Thursdays, of course. Oh, good. Cassie's up on her usual schedule and up early when the show starts. So that's great. So things are, yeah. That was commercial break number 6, so I have to keep track of this so I don't replay commercials. Okay, so I've got a few stories left here, and what I'll do is I'll read through the titles and let you pick out the next story that we want to do. All right. So we've got Elvis Meets Nixon, 1970, the UK 3-day work week, 1974, the pet rock craze of 1975, Philippe Petit's Twin Towers tightrope walk of 1974. Oh, that one's pretty heavy. Charlie Rich burns the envelope at an awards ceremony in 1975. The Challenger explosion of 1986. I remember that so well. The Tylenol murders of 1982. Long-distance phone call prices of the 1970s and 80s. All right. Elvis Meets Nixon, 3-day work week, pet rock craze, Twin Towers tightrope, Charlie Rich burns envelope, Challenger explosion, Tylenol murders, long-distance phone call prices. So I'll give you a moment to kind of put together what you want to talk about, and then we'll hit it, baby. And gosh, we're gonna have to. You know what? We don't necessarily have to use up all the commercial breaks. I'd like to, because of the nostalgia of it all. So if we wind up with a commercial break left over at the end of the show, after I roll end credits, I'll tack that commercial onto the end so that you still get it. Why not? So tightrope walk. Ooh, totally. Let's do that one. All right. So let me grab that one out of my paper clipped stuff here. And here's the story about Philippe Petit, it's French, I believe, Twin Tower tightrope walk in 1974. There are stunts that are spectacles, and then there are moments so impossible, so delicately insane that they feel like they were pulled from the passages of a novel rather than the morning news. And on August 7th, 1974, just after dawn, New York City woke up to one of those moments. A man standing on a wire, strung between the Twin Towers, 1,350 feet above the ground, smiling like he just stepped out on his front porch. We'll do the Tylenol murders next. The man was Philippe Petit, a French tightrope walker, street performer, and professional defier of common sense. Petit didn't just walk wires, he treated them like invitations. To him, a building wasn't a structure, it was a challenge. And when he first saw a sketch of the World Trade Center in a magazine, years before it was even completed, he felt something spark. He pointed at the drawing and said, "I will walk between those towers." Most people would have laughed. Petit started planning. And planning is the wrong word. Plotting is closer. It wasn't a stunt. It was a heist. A beautifully orchestrated, borderline criminal, artistically motivated heist. Petit and his small team spent months studying the towers, sneaking into construction sites, timing security patrols, measuring distances, and figuring out how to smuggle a 450-pound cable to the roof without anyone asking what a group of Frenchmen were carrying enough equipment to rig a pirate ship. My goodness. It was the year I was born. Oh, there you go. She was born in 1974. They forged IDs. They disguised themselves as contractors. They hid inside the building overnight. It was part circus, part espionage, part fever dream. And through it all, Petit remained calm, focused, almost serene, like a man preparing for a date with destiny. Then came the morning. Just before sunrise, when the city was still half asleep, Petit stepped out onto the wire. No harness, no net, no permission. Just a balancing pole and a pair of soft shoes. And a grin that suggested he was exactly where he belonged. And then he walked. He didn't rush. He didn't wobble. He didn't even look nervous. He moved with a kind of confidence that makes onlookers question their own reality. He walked to the middle, turned, and looked down at Manhattan, the taxis, the skyscrapers, the early commuters who had no idea that they were missing history. Then he lay down on the wire, on his back, in the sky, and as if gravity had taken the morning off, he took a break. Police gathered on both rooftops, shouting for him to come down. Petit waved at them, then bowed. He danced. He walked back and forth 8 times, savoring every second. This wasn't a stunt for him. It was art, a performance, no permission. A love letter to the towers themselves. And the city. A place not easily impressed was spellbound. New Yorkers, famously unflappable, stood in the streets with their mouths open. Construction workers cheered, of course. Those crazy Native Americans on the skyscrapers. Yeah! Office workers pressed against windows. Even the police, once they finally got him off the wire, couldn't help but smile. They arrested him, of course. It's hard enough to ignore a man who just committed the most elegant trespassing violation in history. But even the charges felt ceremonial. The city wasn't angry. It was charmed. The judge sentenced him to perform for children in Central Park, which might be the most wholesome punishment ever handed down in Manhattan. And Petit, ever the showman, delivered. Looking back, the walk feels like a moment suspended in time, literally and figuratively. A man balanced between 2 towers, that would one day become a symbol of something far heavier. But in that moment, that early morning light, there were simply a stage. They were simply a stage, a place for a dreamer to do something impossible. And there's something quietly profound in that. Patet didn't walk the wire for fame or money or spectacle. He walked because he felt called to, because the towers existed, and therefore the space between them existed, and therefore it needed to be crossed. It was logic only an artist could understand, and only a city like New York could embrace. In the stillness of hindsight, you can almost see him there, a tiny figure suspended in the sky, defying fear, defying gravity, defying the ordinary. A reminder that sometimes the most bizarre moments in history aren't chaotic or destructive. Sometimes they're beautiful. Sometimes they're peaceful. Sometimes they're a man on a wire, smiling at the morning sun. Oh, wow. Okay, let me take a commercial break so I can get my act together here. I'll be back in a minute. Pardon my emotion. All right, love you. Be back in a flash.
These demanding times, BMW introduces the safest 3 Series ever built, with a near-zero maintenance engine and perfectly balanced handling. The dramatically new 325i. BMW meets the demands of the 90s with its spirit intact.
I know what I like to eat. That's easy. Making sure it's healthy, that's not so easy. But Healthy Choice makes healthy eating very easy. Because these meals are simply delicious. The dinners and entrees are many of my favorite foods. Pastas, chicken dishes, the recipes I make when I have time. But all low-fat, low cholesterol, and low sodium. If you want good tasting food, there is a choice. And with Healthy Choice, the choice is yours.
With 5 powerful cleaning agents, Fantastic not only out-cleans all others on greasy kitchen dirt, it's the perfect do-it-yourself cleaning kit for almost every surface in your kitchen and bath. 5 Cleaner Fantastic. More power, more places.
Look, I lead a busy life. When I'm stuffed up, Sudafed 12-Hour gets me through my day. And I'm not drowsy.
Introducing new Sudafed 12-Hour in tablets. No relief lasts longer. Where does inspiration come from?
You know, I've always dreamed of doing this. Luckily, I had a great zookeeper to give me pointers. Interesting technique.
The interests we develop in childhood can inspire us to a lifetime of achievement. What might Disney's classic cartoon videos inspire in your child?
Whoever thought I'd learn about elephants from a duck?
Bring home the magic. Only Disney videos for your child's magic years.
Would CBS show anything naked?
Disgusting.
No way. That's why this isn't The Naked Gun.
Sure feel better now.
The original Police Squad. Then, Rob Reiner presents the classic all-new comedy of Morton and Hayes. Never heard of them?
You will.
Morton and Hayes premieres right after Police Squad, all Wednesday.
I'm Mark McEwen. Tomorrow, husbands, wives, and sex. Do you wish you could bring the sizzle back into your marriage? We'll tell you how on CBS This Morning.
This is CBS.
Wherever you are, whenever you need us, we're there. With service we call Excel Service, because it really does.
Good evening. Coming up tonight on Newsbeat at 11, it's a discovery more gruesome than any movie as a man is questioned about the large number of human body parts found in his apartment. There's an effort underway to get Yakima County declared a disaster area, in part to help out area farm workers. And it's the latest in video games. We'll show you the future.
In sports, the Bears take on Boise, hoping to make a quicker night of it tonight. Highlights from Parker Field and from Yankee Stadium as the M's take on the Yanks.
And Stu says even hotter tomorrow. He'll have all the weather. Join us at 11.
This is KIMA TV 29, Cable Channel 6, Yakima.
The race is on to make batteries that last longer. And today's Duracell batteries can even outrun the ones we made just a few years ago. Today's Duracell. You can't top the copper top.
All right, people, we are back. Gosh, I hope I got that right there. That was commercial break number 7. So if you're still with me, thank you for joining me this morning, and if not, thank you for being with me this morning. And if you've never shown up, well, it don't matter. All right, we're going to do one of the stories that another story that Cassie picked out, the Tylenol murders of 1982. So she would have been 8 years old. I myself would have been 14 years old. There are stories from the 1980s that feel like urban legends, whispered warnings, cautionary tales, the kind of thing a friend of a friend swears happened. But the Tylenol murders of 1982 were not rumors. They were real. They were terrifying. They changed the way America thought about safety, trust, and the simple act of reaching into the medicine cabinet. It began quietly, almost invisibly. Yes, my microphone is on. A handful of people in the Chicago area took extra-strength Tylenol capsules, the most ordinary, everyday product you could imagine. And within hours, they were gone. No warning, no pattern, no explanation, just sudden catastrophic collapse. At first, doctors were baffled. Healthy people don't simply fall over after taking pain reliever. But then the cases began to connect, and the truth emerged like a shadow stepping into the light. The capsules had been tampered with. Someone had taken bottles off store shelves, opened them, filled the capsules with potassium cyanide, and put them back. Cassie remembers this. It was the kind of crime that felt almost impossible to comprehend. Not targeted, not personal, random, anonymous. A faceless act of violence carried out through a product millions of people used without a second thought. And that randomness, that chilling unpredictability, it was what sent the country into a quiet panic. The news spread fast. Television anchors delivered the updates with a tone that mixed urgency with disbelief. Police held press conferences. Parents checked every bottle in their homes. Stores pulled Tylenol from shelves. And in living rooms across America, people stared at the medicine cabinets as if they were suddenly strangers. Johnson & Johnson, the company behind Tylenol, faced a nightmare scenario. Their flagship product had been a weapon, and no one knew how many bottles had been tampered with. In a move that would later be praised as a masterclass in crisis response, the company recalled every bottle of Tylenol in the country, every single one, 31 million of them, at a cost of more than $100 million. And that was back then. They told the public not to use the product. They cooperated fully with investigators. They didn't hide. They didn't spin. They acted. But even with the recall, the fear lingered because the truth was unsettling. The killer had exploited a vulnerability no one had ever considered. Medicine bottles were easy to open. Packaging was simple. Safety seals did not exist. The entire system had been built on trust, the assumption that no one would ever do something like this. The investigation was massive. Hundreds of leads, dozens of suspects, a few promising names, but no arrests, no confessions, no closure. To this day, the case remains officially unsolved. The person responsible vanished back into the crowd, leaving behind a trail of grief, and a nation suddenly aware of how fragile everyday life could be. And yet, from that darkness came a change. The Tylenol murders reshaped consumer safety in ways we now take for granted. Tamper evidence seals, child-proof caps, foil barriers, packaging that makes you twist and push and peel and occasionally swear under your breath. All of it tracks back to 1982, to a crime so senseless and shocking that it forced an entire industry to rethink how products were protected. There's a strange duality in the memory of that moment. On one hand, it was terrifying, a reminder that danger can slip into the most ordinary corners of life. On the other hand, it was a turning point, a moment when companies, regulators, and consumers collectively said never again, and meant it. But beyond the policy change and safety seals, there's something more human at the heart of the story. The victims were ordinary people. A young girl with a cold, a new mother, postal worker, a flight attendant. People who reached for relief and found tragedy instead. Their stories, their families, their lives, those are the threads that give the event its weight. And in quiet hindsight, you can feel the echo of that era, the uncertainty, the fear, the sudden realization that trust is not a given, but a choice we make every day. The Tylenol murders were one of the most bizarre and unsettling events of the 1980s, but not because of spectacle, but because of simplicity, because they took something familiar and made it frightening. It was a time that changed the country, a moment that reshaped the way we interact with the world, and a reminder that even in a decade known for excess, neon, and noise, some of the most powerful stories are the ones whispered in the aisles of a drugstore. Now, one thing that I've learned since this piece was initially written was that by watching I think it was a Netflix documentary on the Tylenol murders, was that Tylenol, Johnson & Johnson, eventually wound up having culpability in this because there were cleaning rituals that they went through to clean the machines, and they used cyanide powder to clean their machines when they or something to that effect, or reset. So they used cyanide and they had the cyanide in the same room, and eventually, recently, it was proven that that's the cyanide. That's why they never found anyone. I'm going to do another story here because it was one that I kind of picked out. It remained unsolved, but from what I understand from the documentary that I saw recently, it was the manufacturer that had the Tylenol, and it was part of their routine to use that cyanide. And that's how it happened. It was in the factory where this occurred. So if you get a chance, watch. I think it's a Netflix documentary, The Tylenol Murders, I think is what it was called. And that was the deal, right? Yeah, totally. Crazy stuff, man. It's crazy. Okay, we are going to do another story here. One that I didn't know about. So we're going to we are going to read this story. There are award show moments that become legendary because they are glamorous, triumphant, or beautifully rehearsed. And then there are moments that become legend because absolutely no one, including the person on stage, seems to know what the hell is happening. In 1975, at the Country Music Association Awards, it gave one of those moments, courtesy of Charlie Rich, a man who could croon like velvet, but occasionally behave like he wandered in from a different dimension. Charlie Rich was no lightweight. He was a silver fox, a seasoned performer with hits, respect, and a reputation for doing things his own way. But by the mid-1970s, country music was shifting. A younger, softer, more pop-leaning sound was creeping in, and standing at the center of that shift was John Denver. Wow. The man whose songs could make you feel like you were sitting on a porch in Colorado, even if you were stuck in the traffic on the interstate. So picture the scene. Charlie Rich walks onto the stage to present Entertainer of the Year. He's holding the envelope. He's got that slow, deliberate swagger of a man who's not in a hurry for anything except maybe the after party. And he's carrying himself with a kind of confidence that says, I've been in the business a long time, enough to do whatever the hell I want. He opens up the envelope. He looks at the card. And then, in a moment that feels like it was written by a mischievous screenwriter, he pulls out a lighter, a real lighter, not a prop, flicks it open, and sets the envelope on fire. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. Flames on live television. The audience gasps. The producers panic. The stagehands probably consider new career paths. And Charlie Rich, calm as a man lighting a cigarette on his porch, watches the envelope burn before announcing the winner, John Denver. At least he announced it. They probably don't allow anything in your pockets on stage now, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see, we have a comment here on the comment board. Yeah, check out that documentary, because I don't know what the ultimate outcome of that I don't remember what the ultimate outcome of that documentary was about the Tylenol murders, but check that out. Pardon me, here we go. So let's get back. Now, interpretations vary. Some say Rich was making a statement, a protest against popification of country music. Others say he was drunk, high, or simply in a mood. Some insist it was a joke gone sideways, and a few believe it was a moment of pure, unfiltered Charlie Rich energy, a kind of unpredictable spark that made him both beloved and baffling. Whatever the motive, the moment landed like a thunderclap. Country music fans debated for years. Was it disrespect? Was it performance art? Like a slap in the face? Was it a man reacting to a changing industry in the only way he knew how, with fire? Maybe so. John Denver, for his part, wasn't even in the building. He accepted the word via satellite, smiling that gentle, earnest smile of his, blissfully unaware that his victory had just been announced by a man holding a smoldering envelope like a campfire storyteller. Sheesh. And that contrast, Denver's wholesome sincerity and Rich's smoldering rebellion, captured something essential about the era. The 70s were a decade of transition, of old guard meeting new guard, of tradition brushing up against reinvention, and sometimes, when those forces collided, sparks flew, literally. Looking back, the moment feels almost poetic, a symbol of a genre wrestling with its identity. A reminder that change rarely arrives quietly, and a testament to the fact that live television in the 70s was a wild frontier where anything could happen, and often did. but there's also something strangely human in it. Charlie Rich wasn't a villain. He wasn't a hero. He was a man caught between eras, reaching in real time, with a lighter and a sense of theatricality. And in quiet, in hindsight, you can almost appreciate the absurdity of a country legend, of burning an envelope, and a moment that became part of the folklore of American music. It was bizarre, it was bold, it was unmistakably 1975, and it remains one of the few award show moments where the announcement was overshadowed not by the winner, but by the fire that delivered the news. That is crazy. Crazy, man. It's crazy stuff. Crazy. You'll have to watch that documentary at Thailand and remind me what transpired in that documentary, because it comes and goes. All right, we're going to slip into a commercial break real quick, and I will be back in a flash with another one of these segments here, and we'll just kind of keep drawing them out here. All right, people, don't go away. I'll be back in a minute. Or a few.
If you order a suit designed around the way you're built, you have to wait about 2 months. If you want a house designed around the way you live, the wait is 2 years. But if what you desire is a car designed around the way you drive, you don't have to wait another day. The 1991 Acura Legend Coupe.
If you think you've got to eat itty-bitty portions to go from this to this, take it from Tommy Lasorda. Try Ultra Slim Fast Frozen Entrees. Larger, more satisfying portions than the leading diet entrees without a lot more calories. Of course, they're sensible entrees that are low in fat. I could have one every day. So try our Ultra Slim Fast entrees. They're even big enough for me.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today.
Kellogg's Fun Pack. Choosing one is half the fun.
Presenting Wendy's Grilled Chicken Filet Sandwich, made with a delicious boneless breast of chicken, lettuce, tomato, and honey mustard, all on a toasted bun. It could be Wendy's best tasting chicken sandwich ever.
You know it makes me wanna... Shout Stick lets you pre-treat tough stains today. Throw my hands back and... Shout them out next wash day. Kick my feet out and... Shout Stick starts working right away. It saturates tough stains, penetrates clean through to keep stains from setting in till you're ready to wash them out. You know it makes me wanna shout. Come on now. Shout. Want a tough stain out? Shout. Shout it out. Shout.
Its commitment stretches from coast to coast. It has engineering resources that are unsurpassed. It has the only biomedical research facility of its kind. It has helped save thousands of lives. It is the world leader in automotive safety because there's nothing in the world that matters more. GM Safety. It's not one thing. It's everything.
Good evening. Coming up next on Newsbeat, more chilling news about the discovery of human body parts in an apartment in Milwaukee. And a third suspect is jailed in connection with the cockfight murder.
In sports, a tirade in Major League Baseball tonight. You don't want to miss that. Plus, we've got highlights of Mariners and Bears victories.
It not only was record heat here in Washington, but also in that other Washington as well.
If you or someone you loved were raped, would you want the world to know about it? Private or public? Whose side are you on? With Charles Kuralt, Friday at 8:30. Dr. Christine Lipton is about to find out. Some medical secrets are better left unknown.
What am I gonna do?
Everything's gonna be okay. But is the one man she trusts the one she should fear? Melissa Gilbert, Jack Scalia, Pernell Roberts. Done next Tuesday.
This is CBS.
Being cool, you'll find every state of mind. Keeping it cool with down, mountain down. Keeping it cool with down, mountain down. Keeping it cool with down.
Celebrate Tieton Drive Convenience Center grand opening with Pepsi product 6-packs, $1.59. Now Lay's chips, 79 cents. Tieton Drive Convenience Center.
And there I am, wrapped up in the commercial break again. Gosh, those... I sure hope you're entertained by those. In fact, just for a second there, I felt like I needed a seatbelt on for some reason. No, really. Really. I'm probably suffering from early onset dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, because a lot of things are going on in my head all the time. Weird stuff. Stuff I can't understand. I remember once pulling up to a stop sign driving, and I looked over at a dog jumping on a trampoline. It was a little trampoline. It was a little funny looking dog, and it was jumping on a trampoline. Hey, good morning, William. And there was a little dog jumping on a trampoline. And I looked over at this dog, and I thought to myself, look at the dog jumping on the banjo. And I thought, that's not right, a dog jumping on a banjo. And so I thought, okay, the dog is jumping on a banjo, and I could not for the life of me put the dog on a trampoline. I knew it was a trampoline. Trampoline was the word in my head that I was trying to get out, and it would come out banjo. And it really upset me, and I realized that, there's something going on there. All right, so a little bit about the new format and the content before we kind of wrap it up this morning. The shows go from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Monday's shows are Monday Movie Memories. For the last 2 Mondays, we have talked about, the first Monday was Jackie Earle Haley, and then we talked about Brooke Shields. This coming Monday, we are talking about Jodie Foster. I see everybody saying hi and good morning to everybody out there. So we're doing Jodie Foster. We have all new old news stories from the past ready for Tuesday's broadcast, our little news story. And I'm going to switch things up a little bit and try to keep it a little more light in the delivery. I felt the last week and a half, I felt more like a news broadcaster, kind of stiff in his shoes. I wanted to go to the window and scream, I'm as mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. I did not. Wednesdays is my favorite day, my favorite format, Old Time Radio Wednesday. I'm going to every Wednesday bring you an old time radio show and be a DJ, bring you what it is we're time traveling to the 50 years into the past to 1976. We are going to be in a radio booth, and we are going to be discussing DJs of that era and radio stations and all things radio of that era. And then we're going to time travel back from there another 50 years to the 1920s. And we are going to bring you jazz music from the 1920s and 30s. So we've got these time jumps that we're going to be doing on those days. Last Wednesday we did Wolfman Jack. The week before that, we did B. Mitchell Reed, BMR, from KMET Radio. So we are going to do, see, William, he remembers Network. Great. In fact, last Tuesday or so, we talked about the death of Peter Finch. So Throwback Thursdays is today, where it's all about consumerism in the past, and we talk about products and events of products and things that happened in the past that are just kind of weird. Like, what? This morning we talked about the toxic shock syndrome of the 1970s and 80s, the Rely tampons and the whole issue, and that was kind of emotional. I got a little choked up this morning. Last week we just talked about Simon, the electronic game. I did that show for William, but he wasn't here. I think he was still on vacation. So who knows what we're going to do next week. Tomorrow is Flashback Friday. That's kind of a laid-back day. We're going to do the old school screen. Well, you should watch yesterday's show because there was a lot of Wolfman Jack on there. I did a bunch of commercial breaks and song breaks and stuff, and I used Wolfman Jack exclusively. It was great. So like I said, tomorrow, Friday, it's just Flashback Friday. We sit, we reflect on the week, all the things we discussed, everything that's gone on. We kind of tie that together with my past and our past and history, and school's still in session. All right. So there you go. And we're still time traveling. It's a combination of the original morning show and my video time machine show. So we've kind of collided. So we're doing that. The screens may change. Occasionally we may have a different TV on some days. We may switch completely. I've just overhauled the radio booth. So we've got a completely new radio booth, which is fun. The first host of Midnight Special, yeah, we go into that whole thing on yesterday's show. Good stuff. I love, one of the things my daughter, who is in her last semester of studying psychology, has explained to me about Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff, is to ward it off. You can't just knit. You can't just do repetitive things. You can't just get out and jog. You have to learn. You have to train your brain to learn something new every day. So that's essentially what I'm doing with the new format. Is every day I have to dig into the computer and research and create and learn, and it's really fun. So we'll do more of the same next week, and as the weeks go on, we'll change, we'll enhance, we'll kind of grow into the show that it's going to be for the next year. This entire season 5 is going to last until I can't take it anymore, or until I just all the ideas are gone. So a lot of days I'm going to have graphics hanging here next to me. We're going to have a lot of videos and commercials. I'm going to get into the habit on Monday of playing some kind of fun stuff during the show, a cartoon or a short or something, which brings up the pre-show every day is going to be something kind of associated with that week's overall feel, our overall time destination, right? So on this last Monday and today we wrapped it up. Monday we showed the first part of William Holden, the Golden Boy, and then today we wrapped that up with our pre-show, the first half hour from 4:30 to 5, the pre-show where I test all of my stuff. We did William Holden Monday and Thursday, so you can check that out. I think that's on my channel as a video. Most of the stuff I play on the pre-shows has been pre-approved on my channel before. Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays, we're doing TV news broadcasts from the past, original aired broadcasts with commercials and bumpers and all that stuff, just kind of squashed into a 30-minute package and brought to you that way. Wednesdays, I'll bring you some kind of old-time radio dramas, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever we can come up with that sounds fun to listen to. And then I'll put that in some kind of little package and put that in the booth, and it'll be playing before I get into the radio booth in the morning. And also on Wednesdays, something that I've started is a new segment called Weird News. Looks like we're going to run long this morning. Oh, the advertisers and stuff won't like that. So Weird News we're doing. Yesterday we did Weird News. It was Muhammad Ali saved a man from committing suicide out in Wilshire Boulevard in a building. Got out of his living room, went down there and talked to a man, and got out on a ledge and talked him in, and then stayed with him and let the guy stay with him. Brought him into his home, paid for his treatment, was friends with him for years, gave him his personal phone number. I mean, so that's weird news of yesterday. We're also doing something called Grateful Dedications, where you can call in to Miriam, my assistant, during the first hour of Wednesday's show. Call in with your grateful dedication, and then I will try to find that music and bring it to you as a grateful dedication. So Wednesdays are changing, evolving. Every show is kind of changing, evolving until I find the way that glove fits right. So stay with me throughout the series, because it is changing, it's evolving. I'm trying to keep it light, I'm trying to keep it fun, while still bringing you me and the quality entertainment that I hope I'm providing for you. All right, so this is going to be the show for the day. I got to wrap it up and go. I got to use the little boy's room. I got to let a dog out. I got to do a whole host of situations here. So I hate to use the word twice, but I have been your host, Michael, crazy old weird bearded guy. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. I will see you guys tomorrow. And tomorrow we take off all the hoopla, and it's just you, me, the cameras, and the microphone. So definitely tune in tomorrow. We can kind of wrap up the week and tie it all up in a neat little package. So stay tuned after the close of the show for another commercial block. Hey, because I got to use it. Why not? I will recycle these commercial blocks because they're fun. They're fun to create. All right, people, I am going to hit close for the day. Before I go, I just wanted to say, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Take care of yourselves. Love you too, Cassie. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Do something nice for yourself today, but do something nice for somebody else. All right? It makes you feel good. Makes the other person feel good. Makes you a better person. Makes the world a better place. All right? Take care of each other. That's all you got to do. Most especially, stay weird. Do something nice for somebody that's weird. Hey, that guy's weird. He just smiled at me. Hi. So do it. Just do it. Just do it. All right. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining me, William. Thanks for joining me, Cassie. I will see you in the morning. And I love you guys. And adios.
Nobody can connect you with more of this country than United Airlines. With low-cost vacations from Hawaii to the New York Islands, to the mountains, to the oceans, to the sunshine, and back again. That's why in the friendly skies we say, your land is our land.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Wieder beweist Duracell, alkalische Batterien halten entscheidend mehr Rennen durch als herkömmliche Zinkkohlebatterien. Sehen Sie selbst. Die Wagen mit Zinkkohlebatterien bleiben nach wenigen Rennen liegen. Die alkalische Duracell aber, die hält entscheidend länger. Duracell. Diesen Namen tragen nur langlebige Hochleistungsbatterien. Duracell. Die alkalische Duracell mit dem Kupferkopf hält entscheidend länger als herkömmliche Zinkkohlebatterien.
Fellow Americans, stop dragging your feet. Wear kitties when you're going to go out on a date.
Look great.
But do you know your feet need a little love?
Kitty knows.
What an agonizing, enterprising, hard kind of day you spend working overtime. You.
Yeah, baseball.
You. When you shop, you need shoes for it all. To say comfort and style. If you're young at heart or young enough to remember, come to Kitty and explore. At the Great American, Great American, Great American Shoe Store.
Das Technikprogramm von Lego. Technik wie in Wirklichkeit. Stabile Modelle mit vielen beweglichen Teilen und richtigen technischen Funktionen. Zum Bauen und Spielen für Kinder ab 9. Technik wie in Wirklichkeit. Das Technikprogramm von Lego.
When can I pick up the pictures?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay, let me make a note of that.
You gonna write it down there?
Oh, well, it's going to,
Oh,
yeah.
well, then let's say Tuesday.
You mean 2 days earlier?
No, 5 days
5 days later. I thought as much.
If this customer were at a Photomat store, we'd be introducing him to our brand new picture pickup promise. Photomat's way of telling you exactly when your pictures will be ready.
That quick?
Sure, and if it doesn't work out, you get a free roll of film.
Oh, no. You get in trouble for
It's
that.
no problem.
Huh?
It's a Photomat policy.
The Photomat picture pickup promise.
Is there a Photomat store around here?
When the family's all together, life's the best that it can be. Life's more fun when you're munching when you're munching Fritos. 'Cause Fritos goes with fun, and fun makes family memories. And old or young, life's more fun when you're munching Fritos. Munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Life's more fun when you're munching one, when you're munching Fritos. Grand corn chips.
Saturday, the fun starts when Nancy meets Francie, Sunshine's mom.
Actually, we live a very quiet life here. Oh, I won't. And what do you call this? Bad timing.
Then there's a fire at the fishes.
The empty house 2 doors down, it's on fire.
Could Victor be a firebug?
These children are under my supervision.
Go fish!
And Starsky and Hutch are set up by the mob. Right after Blansky's Beauties and Fish.